So you're thinking about making a move to Snohomish, Washington, but before you do, you want to find out everything you can about the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, the ups and the downs, and everything in between. Well, if so, that's exactly what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to be talking about what makes Snohomish a fantastic place to live, but we're also going to spend a lot of time on what makes Snohomish not so awesome to live in. So if that sounds interesting and you want to learn more about that, then let's get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is David Sappenfield, licensed realtor and relocation specialist. And what does that mean to you? Well, it means that as much as I love making these videos for you, I would love even more to help you with your real estate needs. All you have to do is reach out. The contact information that's popping up below right here, right on the screen, that's the best way to reach me. I'm the guy who answers the phone calls, returns all the emails and the text messages. All you got to do is reach out. I'm happy to help you make that smooth move to Seattle. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. We drop new videos every week that covers eating, living, drinking, playing in the city of Seattle, Washington, and surrounding areas like Snohomish. So make sure you subscribe, tap that bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. So as I was mentioning, we are going to be digging into the city of Snohomish and what makes it awesome, what makes it not so awesome to live there. And, just for starters, Snohomish, we're about an hour northeast of the city of Seattle. If you're dealing with some heavy traffic, it can take you even longer, hour and a half or so. If you're commuting to the east side, Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, usually you can get into those east side cities a little bit easier. You're about 35 to 40 minutes to get into the east side. But, Snohomish is fantastic. It has a very diverse option of housing for you to choose from. So there's anything from small condos in the downtown, kind of the historic Snohomish area. There's also another section kind of in the Silver Firs neighborhood that you can also find condos there. But you can also find really older, historic, beautiful homes built in the early 1900s, maybe on a little bit of smaller pieces of land, 5,000, 6,000 square feet. But, there's also new construction. So there's brand new homes in the Snohomish area, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. And of course, Snohomish is definitely known for sort of its rural aspect and being able to find homes that are on acreage. It's not difficult to find something on 5, 10, 15 plus acres. Snohomish is definitely the spot where you can do that and you're still not too far away from the city life. So, with that said, Snohomish is fantastic. That's what I like about it. It's great. I'm going to run over a list of 4 pros that you need to know about, but more importantly, let's talk about the cons too. So make sure you stick around for those because, some of those might be deal breakers for you. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the pros. Pro number 1 is the small town charm that you get by living in Snohomish. Now, if this is a box that you need checked on your must-haves for your next home and where you want to live, then Snohomish definitely has you covered. Now, this potentially could be a con for some people, and if it is, let's just go ahead and slide it into the con column. But for now, we're going to talk about how good the small town charm is with Snohomish. Now, especially the downtown area, it's really historic, kind of has a Victorian era buildings that kind of line First Street right there. A lot of small shops, boutiques, fabulous restaurants, like really, really good restaurants in the downtown area of Snohomish. But really kind of a tight-knit community. You're gonna bump into people that you see that you live around in the Snohomish area probably pretty regularly when you're coming in and out of the downtown area or doing your shopping, stuff like that. So you definitely get that small town feel, and that's number 1 on our list here is the small town vibe that you get from Snohomish. Pro number 2 is your access to amenities. And if you live downtown in the kind of the historic district of Snohomish, of course you're going to be super close. You're going to have a lot of stuff within walking distance to restaurants, your shopping centers. There's a Home Depot not too far away. So if you live downtown, yeah, that stuff's going to be right there. But if you live a little bit further out, maybe you have a home that's sitting on some acreage, maybe you have some farm animals running around, you feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but you're still never that far away from running to the store. Maybe you got to run into Safeway, run to Hagen real quick because you forgot something for dinner. It's only going to take you 10, 15 minutes or so. So even though it feels like you're really kind of secluded and out in the middle of nowhere, you're not that far out, and you can still run into town relatively quickly to get that last minute stuff that maybe you forgot. So access to amenities is the pro number 2. Pro number 3 is the lower cost of living that you get to take advantage of by living in Snohomish. Now, the city of Snohomish is located in Snohomish County, and just by virtue of living in Snohomish County, you're going to be paying a lower tax rate. You're going to be paying less for goods and services than if you were kind of closer to the core, the cities of, Seattle, Bellevue, stuff like that. But the biggest difference is going to be like your cost of housing, okay? So the median sale price for homes in Snohomish is right around $895,000, so just shy of $900,000. But in comparison to Seattle, north of Seattle, the east side, Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, Snohomish is very, very affordable, being right around that $900,000 mark for the median sale price. So much more affordable. And, on top of that, you're going to be getting a pretty good discount on some of that other stuff too, just by living in Snohomish County. So definitely a huge pro for a lot of people is that lower cost of living. Pro number 4 is the outdoor activities that you have very, very easy access to in the Snohomish area. Now, there is just a ton of stuff you can do. There are hiking trails, there's the Snohomish River, there's lakes, if you like to fish, if you like to swim. During the winter time, you can go to the mountains, Cascade Mountain Range. There's a couple different spots you can go for skiing, snowboarding, stuff like that. During the fall, there's a handful of farms in the Snohomish area that offer kind of that fall festival, pumpkin picking, corn mazes, all that stuff that's really fun for the family. Snohomish has just a ton of those little farms in the area that just put on quite the display and festivities for the fall season. So plenty of stuff to do in Snohomish. Skydiving, can't forget about that. If you like to skydive, you're a thrill seeker, you can definitely do that here in Snohomish. You have golfing options. You have the Snohomish Golf Course. There's the Snohomish Valley Golf Center for, just going and hanging out and doing some practice on the golf game. But yeah, you pretty much have your choice of things to do in the Snohomish area. And, it's year-round, so you're not going to have any shortage of outdoor activities. Okay, time to switch it up a little bit and talk about the cons. And con number 1 is going to be your commute distance if you live in Snohomish. Potentially. Now, if you work in downtown Seattle or one of the surrounding areas like that, then it can be challenging commuting to and from Snohomish on a regular basis. On your average day, you're probably going to spend at least an hour each way if traffic isn't too bad, which, it's not terribly far, but if you're doing that 5 times a week, it can definitely add up. Now, if you work somewhere on the east side, which would be like Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, much more reasonable. You're looking around a 35 to 40 minute drive, depending on where you're going on the east side. But, if you're heading over to Seattle on that side, it can be tough to get to and from Snohomish. So keep that in mind. And that's why it's our con number 1 is the distance you have to travel. Con number 2 is the limited availability of job opportunities in Snohomish. Now, there's definitely a few in the downtown area, restaurants, grocery stores, other small boutique stores like that. So you will have limited opportunities in Snohomish, but there's no major employers. You're probably going to have to travel either over to Everett, maybe you work for Boeing or one of the aerospace companies there. You can commute into Bellevue, into Kirkland, into Redmond. That's a pretty easy commute. But as far as opportunities in Snohomish, there's just not a lot. So con number 2 is just the limited employment opportunities. Con number 3 is the limited cultural amenities. Now, there's a lot to do in Snohomish, but if you're looking for art galleries, performing arts centers, stuff like that, then you're going to have to kind of travel outside of Snohomish to get that. There's just not really a whole lot in the Snohomish area that will kind of scratch that itch for you if that's the sort of thing that you're looking for. Now, to some people, that's not a big deal at all. But, if that is something that you're looking for, Snohomish is near a lot of those places. You can definitely shoot into Bellevue, into Redmond, into Kirkland. Everett also has a lot of cultural availability there, but in Snohomish it is definitely limited, so just keep that in mind. And again, though, it might not be that big of a deal for you. Con number 4 is the limited public transportation options in Snohomish. Now, there are definitely bus routes. You can catch buses in the downtown area of Snohomish, but as you branch out and kind of get into these more rural areas of Snohomish, your public transportation options are going to be severely limited. So if you do not own a vehicle and you rely on public transportation, if you're outside of that downtown core area, it may be a tough city for you to live in. So just keep that in mind. Not a whole lot of bus routes, no train options, stuff like that. So if you have a car, probably not a big deal to you at all. But if you're relying on the public transportation, Snohomish might be tough. Okay, pretty good list of pros and cons, and if I could, I'd like to add one more pro that I didn't include in the list there right off the bat, but that's just Snohomish's food scene. There are a ton of great restaurants in the downtown Snohomish area. Might be surprising to some, it's kind of that old, historic, quaint little town, but I am telling you, there are just fantastic spots to eat all throughout downtown Snohomish. And, if you go there and spend any kind of time, you will discover that as well. But, if you live in the area or Snohomish pretty well and you think that I maybe missed something, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. Love to hear from you, get your opinion on either a pro or a con. Just leave it down below. And, if you're thinking about making a move to Snohomish or one of the other surrounding suburbs or Seattle, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Contact information's popping up right here. I'm happy to help you make that smooth move to Seattle. And if you want even more information on Seattle, surrounding suburbs, click on the video that's popping up on the screen right now. And until next time, take care. See you around. Bye.